Hello everybody and welcome to the ultimate guide to the switch. Switching one card for another is one of the most powerful things you can do in card magic, and learning a good switch is vital in making you a better performer. In this video, we are going to go over 10 switches that you can start learning today. Some of them are easy, some of them are a little harder, but I think it's important to learn these switches and learn them correctly. The first thing we're going to go over is the top change, one of the most famous switches in all of Magic, but I noticed that a lot of people don't seem to use it, or if they do, they don't use it correctly. So we're going to go over step by step on how to do the top change and do it right. From there, we're going to go into a whole bunch of different switches that you can use based off of what situation you are in. Learn all of these, then pick and choose to create the best switch for your performance. Not only am I going to teach you the sleights, but we're going to go over the subtleties and nuances to really make this something that you're going to use, love, and fool everybody with. So without further ado, let's get into the ultimate guide to the switch. Yo guys, what is going on? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Pandrea and I'm so excited to present to you today the top change, one of the most famous switches of all time in card magic, and we're gonna learn it here today for free. Now this is part of a bigger project called the Ultimate Guide to the Switch, and if you're interested in card magic and switches, I've left a link below to the full project. You're gonna get 10 switches of one card for another, so you can learn these switches, use them in your performances, and fool everybody. Now I think it's so important to learn these switches and learn them correctly, especially the top change, because I've seen so many people try to do the top change and they're just not confident enough in their ability to switch the card secretly that they double up on their technique, or they just mess it up, or they just go for a double lift and forget the top change altogether. We are here to improve your sleights, to make you a better performer, and to make you confident enough when you learn these sleights that you could go out, perform them, and kick some ass. So without further ado, here is an excerpt from the Ultimate Guide to the Switch, the top change. Let's go. Alright, we are talking about the top change. Now the top change is one of the most famous moves in all of Magic, but I feel like it's underused and people are not using them and people don't do them correctly. And this is just from what I've seen, and I'm sure that if you have ever tried to do the top change, there is that moment of, oh, I have to misdirect somehow, I have to get this off without anybody noticing, right? So you do a few things, have them look up or point, or do a whole array of different techniques to misdirect them as you secretly switch the card. Now the whole idea of this move is that you should be able to do it out in the open. You should be able, with little coverage, to switch the cards right in front of them and to fool them. And that's what we're gonna go over right now. So pick up a deck of cards and let's get into how we do this. So the top change is literally what the move suggests. You're switching the top card of the deck for the top card of the deck, basically, and that's how it should look. When done in performance, you have a little bit of misdirection while you hold on to the one card over here and do the move as you either gesture or do something like that, but that's going to be after we learn the actual technique of how we actually do the move. Then we'll get into performance scenarios. But with that being said, I did want to just show you exactly what the move is, and that's basically it. You're just doing that while holding on to one card. You are switching it for the top card like this. Maybe let's do it with another deck here so you can see the action in full speed. And as we talk, the move is done. Yes? Okay, let's learn it. So the action, to be honest, is pretty simple. The harder part is going to come after, to do it smooth and to do it in such a way that it doesn't look like one of these, which I've seen many times in performances all around the world. It seems to be a trend to do a bad, messy, and noisy top change. So we're going to try to get rid of all of those problems here today with this technique. So go ahead, grab the top card, and you're going to hold it in a, I guess, fingertip rest right here with the thumb on, not really the middle. You don't want to go middle with it, you want to go a little bit lower with it, okay? So ring finger, middle finger, and first finger on the front of the card, while the thumb is in the back, and this is your positioning for holding this card. I tend to like to start out by doing this, and then once you get more comfortable with it, you can start holding it just with 2 fingers or 3 fingers, or however it's going to be best for you. But for now, I like to do it with the 3 fingers as I explain this. Now the left hand's job is going to be to push and then to pull. That's really all it's doing, and the only real motion that this hand has is the left thumb going to the right and then coming back to the left, okay? Now, one thing that I want to say before we start the left hand movement is that it's always best to bevel the deck a little bit like that, all right? So when you are getting ready to do this move, you don't want to go overboard like this, but you also don't want to keep it in a full squared manner, because it's going to then be a little bit harder to push this forward without it being noticed. So if this is just like that, then it'll be easier. So from here, what's gonna happen? Well, here's the technique in slow motion. The right hand is going to stay motionless. And a good tip actually, and this is not really a joke, I'm not trying to be funny, even though I do try to be funny, but I'm just not. Anyway, have somebody hold your wrist when doing this, and then you'll see the motion of, if you try to move, they will let you know, or you'll feel it. Because a lot of the times these moves are subconscious and you don't notice, and then you record yourself and then you say, wow, that was really bad, right? So this stays motionless over here for the most part, or at least in the beginning of learning this technique. It's the left hand that's going to come over as if you were going to take this card. So step number 1 is actually coming over and putting your thumb on top to take the card. Do this a few times just so you could get used to the natural action of your left hand coming in and then coming back out, all right? Because that's what's going to happen. Your left hand is going to come in and out, all right? Like I said, this is just the main performance, the basic technique. Then we're going to go into different ways of how to use them and what other things that you can do to cover this action. Now, with that being said, your left hand is going to come over, grab the card, and come back, don't take it, all right? Come over, grab the card, come over, don't take it. And just practice that a few times, all right? And that's how the move should look if you were doing it for real and if you were doing it in the mirror. So if I were to look at you right now, I would be able to have this action as I'm talking and do the move. You see how my left hand and right hand come together for just a second? And that's just doing this and doing that, and that's how the move should look. So do yourselves a favor, practice this first, record this action as you're talking and gesturing. And of course, this is gonna be based off of your pattern and what you say and the gestures that you do, but there you go. See, I did it twice while I was talking, and that's how the move should look. So now we're actually going to do the move of pushing it off and stealing this one out. So you know already this part, you know already this part. We're gonna combine those two, and we're just gonna add in pushing this card into the left hand. Another nice way to practice is with no card in your hand and just push the card into your hand. Okay, so practice those 3 things. The first thing is having this here and stealing it. The second thing is just coming over like that as you talk. And the third thing is to not have a card here. You're talking and then you put a card in your hand as you're still talking. And this is motionless for the most part, okay? So now that we know those 3 steps, we're gonna put it together. Grab a card, show it just like this. 1, 2, 3, thumb right here. You're gonna come over and you're going to just try to switch the cards to begin with. You'll notice a few things. You'll notice that your thumb moves, obviously, because you have to push the card over, okay? You'll also notice that the right hand is going to move these fingers to make room for the bottom card. So you're placing it on the bottom. So you'll notice that the right hand fingers are doing some motion down here. You also might notice the right first finger lifting up to grab the other card and to lift off of the top card, okay? All of these things that you're noticing when you're first doing them is not good, all right? So we're gonna have to fix the problems, and this is the problem that I think a lot of people have with sleights, is they do the generic move of it and they never bother to learn the actual fixing of the problems, and that's what I do in every one of my sleights. So to fix all the movements of the fingers, you just have to really just be conscious of it. So I'm gonna grab the card just like this, and the push is going to be minimal, all right? The push from the left hand is gonna be very minimal. You can see right there, and if I have another card on top, you can actually see how much is really just being pushed off. You don't wanna push it off all the way like this, okay? You wanna just push it off just a little bit right over there. Now, as you come over, you're going to align. So as you're moving from left to right with your left hand, you're going to just push it over just a little bit. Just enough so that you could feel it on the fingers, your middle finger and your ring finger of the left hand. So you're here and you're here. And it's going to come underneath, and this is gonna go on top. So you're gonna come underneath, and only now do you push it a little bit more. So as this is more than halfway past the left hand's card, you're gonna push it more so that it aligns perfectly with this, and you're not moving any fingers in the right hand. These right hand's fingers are staying nice and neat and together. And now you're just going to pull back everything back to the halfway point without moving your left fingers or anything at this point, and only now when you move away do you square this up and do that final move. All right, because you don't want this happening while you're above the card. You want the first part to happen as you're moving. It gets to the halfway point, square, start moving backwards with it, and then only now does your left finger square this up. Okay, so that is the move done all in slow motion with everything broken down. Once again, here, gesture and gesturing, and this motion of the hands is going to be very important in the performance aspect of this. So gesturing with the hands, you're coming here as you're coming up, and sometimes your hands are not that close to begin with. I'm doing this because we're on a screen right here, but sometimes you are here, you're talking with the spectator, you're showing the card, blah blah blah, and then you're coming, moving this here, grabbing this halfway point, grab, move back, and then move everything flush. Here, da da da, da da da, da da da. Okay, so that is the move, and there's a lot of different ways to cover the move, to cover the action of what you're doing. Okay, so boom, boom, da da da, da da da. Oh yes, great. No, yes, hold out your hand, bring it a little closer. Now what I want you to do is to practice the move without actually performing anything, is just practice it back and forth and do this many times and get the speed down. So you want to start slow to make sure that you have the actual technique. Remember, push it off before you come. Push it off before you come, then come forward to grab it. It also helps if you do a little tilt with the hands. So you're here, and now you're eye level, and eye level really hides it. You don't want to be too far with it, right? Because then you're going to obviously flash. You want to be about eye level so that this part is about that level where you can't see the card, all right? That's eye level to the spectator, and that's the move, all right? So that's the actual sleight, and I want you to practice this and get your speed up faster and faster and faster until you know how fast you can do it without messing up. Okay, so for me, I'll try it here. So I'm going slow, slow. Make sure your hands are in the right positioning to start with, because you don't want to get caught up. Slow, slow, and then faster, faster, faster. And it'll get to the point where you can't go faster than you're actually doing it, and that's how you know that in performance, that is going to be the limit of while you talk. That is how fast your limit is to do the move. All right. Alright, with that being said, I think we've gone over the actual technique. Now I want to talk about performance aspects and things that you can do to cover this action while you talk, things to say, and how we can move each hand individually to make it a better technique overall. So now that we know the move, let's go over different variations of what you can do with it. Alright guys, there you have it. That was the top change. Now like I said, this is part of a bigger project, so link is down below for the full project of 10 different switches, some of them that I use way more than the top change, and some that are actually an evolution of the top change, way better in my opinion, and some of them that are just fun to perform and fun to practice, and you'll never know when you'll need these sleights in the performance situations that you are in. So with that being said, I would really appreciate it if you do go check out the link below, check out the full project, and check out my work. It does help support me. If not, that's cool. This view and a thumbs up and maybe subscribe if you haven't already will do just as fine. I appreciate all the support, and I appreciate you sticking around for these videos and for the content that I'm bringing to you. I hope that you learned something here today. Thank you so much, and we will see you on the next video. Peace.